So in this particular one, eighth grade American history, and again, very much grounded in the local town of Ridgefield in the state of Connecticut, playing a part in American story. So one of the things that I was so intrigued by in this one was the ability for students to actually play an active role in the sense making of history. So when we're leaning into the idea of becoming historical detectives, learning about the town's past and using original 1700s documents from town hall to unearth the existence of two particular individuals. So the notion is that they are actually living historians, as opposed to something that they're just reading from somebody that's in the textbook. So trying to also unearth local opportunities in the community level to begin to see in what ways can we create more synergy between people in the classroom and people outside of the classroom that could be of great assistance or help in this project, but also starting to see that we are a part of our history. And in this moment, continuing to craft opportunities for students to add to the historical records as well.
And when students see a connection, like they can see here, just neurologically, they're set up better for engaging with the content because there's a connection. And first of all, there's a story, the brain likes story, there's pattern, but there's familiarity. So one of the things that was said by a student, which I think all of these, but this one particularly, since we're looking at it now, does, is I'm going to read this to you. The student said in a reflection, I was thinking about the overarching goal for learning transfer, which involves both students and teachers making correct connections in the curriculum and learning. So often as teachers, we plan step by step and forget to create space for the aha moments with our students. We teach lessons rather than creating an integrated, inviting experience. Storyboards lay out patterns and connections visually for the students, which helps hold us as teachers accountable for creating authentic connections.
That's so cool. I mean, it's just really starting to play that out as an idea, is that it's the space for people coming to the table together and navigate that journey, as opposed to sort of pulling people along. So the opportunity of really trying to create that level of expanse and space for people to actually pursue what they find to be fascinating, interesting, but still within the frame of the focus of the story. Now, I just want to give a shout out to Diana, who is joining us from Jamaica, where it's, I'm sure, much nicer weather than you guys are having in Connecticut. But she is starting to think about the idea of the intended goal of locking the curriculum and making it available to parents and guardians to be more supportive or counter propose. And as I continue to sort of play with this idea, trying to make sure that like the notion of the firewall is dismantled, but in such a way that it's still truly an invitation to interact with families, so that they can continue to support the learning at home. Diana also added a few minutes later that she appreciates the storyboard methodology to encourage critical thinking and participation. So stepping back and looking at the critical thinking and participation through the lens of the parent, through the lens of families, the opportunity of continuing to see some of the potential insights, positives, but also perhaps a few of the concerns when we are taking that firewall down and being as transparent as possible.
So one of the things, excuse me, one of the things that just triggered for me was I just finished reading a wonderful book from Monica Guzman, who is looking at the question, but the title of the book is what I wanted to share, which is, I Never Thought of It That Way. And I'm just thinking about this idea of how much this really exposes us. When you say takes down the firewall, it also opens my mind up to say, I never thought of it that way. And that really is interesting. So I think it says that we can live with the storyboard telling us a story that will help us to open that portal. And that's why I think when we start talking with parents, when we start talking with our communities, we can at least give that as, I would suggest, perhaps even a quotation, which is, as you read this story, ask yourself, is it something new to you? Have you ever thought of it that way? And it might just help you to be more ready to open the door to, I not only never thought of it that way, but I never realized that what I do has a real connection to this. There's something I can connect with. So I guess I'm just thinking that it's really an activity of thinking. It's really the disposition to be willing to think and to say, you know, this is something that opens doors for me if I remain open to it.